Hello people, welcome to this video. I will explain here what are and how to manage fully the MIDI files in Live 9. If you search for something in detail, just check the index in the video description. MIDI in audio production means musical instrument digital interface and are different from the sample clips, since they don't have any sound. They just have a sequence of notes in specific octaves and duration in time that do need an instrument to be heard. MIDI files indicated through .mid have their own columns in the session view and in arrangement view. This means that you can't add any audio clip inside a MIDI track, but just MIDI files. When a column or a track is called MIDI, it means that it doesn't have any instrument imported yet, so no sound. The decibel meter is not represented in rectangles, but in circles that can get colored in yellow when played. To import an instrument, just click on the MIDI button just next to the general MIDI map and drag any audio file inside the vacant space you see. The name of the MIDI column and the track associated will be changed with the name of the sample instrumental clip added. Here you can set how to play the MIDI file completely through the instrument added. To decide where the single note of the MIDI must start in the waveform, just change the properties through the Start knob. You can also set a loop and the length of such, important in case the MIDI notes are keyed along in time. Through the volume section, you can change how to link the MIDI notes with the instrument. Then turn on the filter below to add a low-pass filter. Just try it out. You can always change the MIDI notes. Just right-click on it as with a sample audio clip. Under Notes section you will find all that was present in the clip section for sample clips. Here you can't have any warp, since you don't have a waveform to work with. Instead of such wave, you have the sequence of the notes that are played with your instrument. The notes are indicated with the common music standards. The letter represents the note, whereas the number means the octave of interest. The downer you go, the lower frequency you will touch with your note. It is very easy to edit the notes through the draw mode. Just right-click and go to draw mode, or better, click on the pencil icon in the control bar to write down the notes you like, and click on the notes drawn again to delete them. To edit the notes in length, click and drag with the mouse their edges. You can move the notes just dragging them all around. If you want to hear each note added, make sure that the blue icon here is enabled. If turned off, new notes or edited ones aren't played every time. Once done with your notes, it may be pretty useful to use this fold button. This will hide all notes in the piano roll that haven't been chosen. In this way you will have a better overall idea of the MIDI structure and edit it without mistaking later. Click on it again to show all the piano roll to come back adding new notes. To set the right notes length you are looking for, you can change the piano roll grid anytime. Just right-click on the vacant space and set the grid density. For instance, a higher density lets you stretch a note through smaller steps. If you want to change the length freely without snappings, hold Alt down while you go on dragging edges. In this way you can set lengths totally personalized. You can also change the intensity of each note by editing them below, when not in draw mode. The height of each red bar says how much the note is strong. The stronger it is, the stronger is the note in red column shown. To be more accurate in such value, drag the window to see better the peaks. Make sure to have a percentage different from 0 in the instrument options, otherwise you won't hear the effect of the different peaks set. The peaks can be done through the draw mode as well. When you add a note, do not release the mouse and drag it vertically. In this way you set the intensity right while adding the note itself. The number appearing above tells you the percentage of intensity. A percentage above 100% is an amplification. You can add audio to your MIDI file through a generator device. Go to Browser on the left and click on Instruments. Just choose a device from the list. For example, Analog, and drag it onto the bottom space where you firstly added an instrument. As you can see, the device added converts MIDI into an output audio not silent. The device you added generates such audio, depending on what you choose at its window properties. There are two types of generator devices. There are ones that add just one instrument that is generated, and so they are managed exactly like the MIDI files with a sample file imported as seen before. Some of them require to import a sample external file and modify it, or even more instruments at time, like the impulse device. Some others let you put more instruments inside a single MIDI file, managed separately, and this can be pretty useful in making beats, like the drum rack. If you are interested in how to make beats, just watch the video dedicated in this show. Observe the left and the right side of such window. You can see the yellow and black dots on the left that represent the MIDI input, and on the right the decibel meter in output. This is the first stage of a sidechain. Each window has an input and an output, and the last window will have the definitive output linked to the MIDI clip. In the arrangement view, you can still add other MIDI files on the MIDI tracks that already have an instrument. The instrument of such track is fixed, and so you can add different MIDI files that will use the same instrument. Another thing to see is how to convert MIDI clips in sample tracks. This can be done through our local recording. You have a recording button to put audio in the arrangement view, and you have other recording buttons for each column, MIDI ones or sample ones. Turn on the rounded button AO on the right to show other options above the sends. These are used to fix the source to record inside the column considered. Let's suppose to convert this MIDI track into a sample one put in the third row of the first column. Turn on the rack button where there is the decibel meter called arm button. The squares will turn to circles and they are all record buttons. In the new options shown, just set in Audio From section the name of the MIDI column to convert. Then play the MIDI file solo and click on the rounded button of the third cell of this first column. You will see it being recorded. In red it is shown for how much time in bars and beats. Just click again to stop recording. And that's it, your MIDI file has become a sample clip, complete with its own waveform. A new feature of Live 9 is to make sample clips into MIDI clips. There are 3 ways to convert audio into MIDI. These options appear when you try to move an audio track on a filled MIDI track, when your mouse has a black note next to the pointer. In the session view as well, when you try to move an audio clip on a MIDI cell. Choose melody if your audio track is composed by a melody, such as a track with notes inside played by a single instrument, which is not a drum or a percussion. Let's make an example. With the method seen before, create a melody using a MIDI track and convert it into an audio track and export it in the arrangement view. This is a melody with a single instrument converted into audio. To make it back to MIDI, move such track in a vacant MIDI track and choose Melody. The track will be turned into MIDI, and Live will retrieve the notes inside the audio track and will distribute them in the MIDI created. Remember that such MIDI created does not have any instrument inside, which has to be added. If you add it or you put such MIDI track in phase with the original audio track, you will hear that the notes are exactly the same. Use melody conversion when you need to extract notes from a known audio file imported. The harmony conversion is just the same of the melody one, with the difference that it is referred to audio tracks that are polyphonic, so made by different instruments. If we take an audiophile melody with more than a single instrument, it is better to use this kind of conversion. If you notice better, the conversion into notes does change between melody and harmony, so choose the right one every time. The most interesting one is the drum conversion. To use this one, create a new MIDI track and load on such the drum rack device. So drag an audio track made by Beats onto such MIDI. You will see that the conversion starts automatically in drum mode. The notes you obtain aren't really notes in the usual standards, but are letters and numbers indicated on a different beat. These notes are the same ones you right have in the drum rack. So feed the drum rack with the percussions you want to play. If you play the original one and the converted one, you will hear the same kind of beat. Live is not precise 100% to locate the different beats used, but to extract the MIDI clip from an audio file, at least on its kind, this tool is really great. Once you get the beats and their distribution, you can choose to put hi-hats, beats or snares. Well, this is all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't miss the next ones to discover more about Live 9. See you!